tuning into my channel, and the fly Amanita. I had now 2 months for myself to come, and obviously I shoved the thing just for good measure to come here in the forest and do my experiences. And let's take one thing away. This Amanita, obviously, is it's poisonous. It's a poisonous mushroom. But what we also have to understand when we talk about poisonous mushrooms is also the fact that poisonous it's a big word, right? So alcohol is also poisonous, isn't it? And that was just it's difficult to get the right angle here going. So alcohol is also very poisonous, and it's still sold legally in the shops. Now this mushroom is in the forest, so nobody can really bother you if you pick it, but it is classed as poisonous. Alcohol is not classed as poison, but it still is, yeah, and it's legally available. Now, since I love to eat a lot of mushrooms, and let me just take a few, so that you guys don't say and come that say, oh, this guy's into like psychedelic mushrooms. No, this is not psychedelic. I mean, it's full of maggots, but that's a different story. But I just want to point out that I do love to eat mushrooms, right? But I like also to experiment. And for me, the experiment which I had was how can I say, definitely not. I just don't like that setup. It's really bad. Don't have a tripod at all. The experience what I had with this Amanita was not really magical. So for me, it's actually an extremely, I wouldn't go so far to say bad, but like an unnecessary, an uncool trip. So what I did, and I will link the complete procedure, how I cooked it and how I prepared it into the descriptions, so you guys can see what I've done. But I also have now another 7 minutes to quickly tell you, if you don't want to see the whole video. But of course I'm not able to tell you in 7 minutes what I did in 2 hours, where I completely juiced those mushrooms, completely smashed them, purified them, then I cooked them, at this, at that, and I came up with very interesting things. Example, this is like a mushroom lollipop, right? That's another thing which I did, right? So I also took the juice and drank it. I also cooked those mushrooms properly, the way you're supposed to, and add them, so there was no effect whatsoever. So people say it's poisonous, and it is. If you eat that rare, you might get some problems. You possibly will. But if you prepare them in the right way, then they're completely edible, because I just a big one, and I didn't have, neither did I have any effect, nor did I have any belly ache or any problems. So for me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, you do with it whatever you want. These mushrooms, prepared correctly, are actually very tasty and very nice. Now, I also drank the juice, the first juice, because you have to cook them in different layers. I also drank the first juice on empty stomach, which, and it gave me a not a very good, trip. I mean, it was a trip. I mean, I felt something, but let's say compared to weed, it was bad. I mean, weed makes me artistic. It inspires me. I can write. I can compose. I can have fun alone. I can laugh at myself. With this, I was a bit actually, almost, it put me down a little bit, and I'm not interested in this. So if I do something recreational, I don't wanna be down. So people claim about psychedelic effects and stuff, but none of them appeared. So no, the room didn't turn, or I didn't see any vivid colors or anything, nothing at all. Um, so I'm gonna kind of pick them off of my experimental box, because I don't think they're worth the trouble. I mean, they're lovely to take to photograph, and I tried a few. Gonna build some lamps with them. Uh, Put it on a nice glass bulb, and put some LEDs in it, and make it as a nice lamp. But as for an experience, as for a trip to, which I had with magic mushrooms, is completely useless. Now, it pushed me to eat more than I normally eat, so it made me a little bit hungry, which, even after the food, I wanted to eat some sweets, right? And the more sweets I ate, the less the effect become. Now, I cooked one big mushroom, and I drank around 150 milliliters of the first juice. So I cooked the mushrooms for 10 minutes. The one mushroom, one big mushroom, approximately as big as my hand. I mean, let's face it, my hand is quite big. Just it's my foot. So just in case somebody wants to come over for a different type of trip, I'm very good with plumbing as well. So um, I had 100 milliliters, 150, and that was enough for me to get an effect, which was most definitely the most boring trip I ever had. So it wasn't really a trip; it was just an awkward feeling where I just wanted to eat, but I couldn't really eat properly, so I got full quickly. But then when the effects start dropping, because I had a lot of potatoes, and potatoes are full of sugar, of course. Um, Therefore, obviously vodka is done out of potatoes. And anytime you want to create alcohol, you need to have sugar. So you can't create alcohol without sugar. Alcoholic drinks without sugar is not possible. So when the potatoes hit my system, then the effect get less and less and less. I was quite happy about it because it was not pleasant. And then I craved for sweets, but I didn't have any sweets at home. So I went for um, a jam. I had some jam with bread. Now again, bread is full of carbs. So carbs is basically glucose, sugar. So it completely wiped out the effect. So to be perfectly frank, I do not recommend this mushroom for for a good trip. But again, completely my opinion. I might still pick them and cook them the way I cook them, and which is will be in the description. It's no point for you to tell you because it's another video about it. And eat them. That's absolutely fine. Or in an emergency scenario when you're in the forest and these are the only mushrooms you can find, and you have a bowl, a metal bowl or like a glass bowl which can take some heat, so you want to cook them. That's absolutely fine. You can survive on them. You're not gonna die if you cook them properly. But since these kind of mushrooms are also available in the forest, um, you know, for the trip itself, it's just, for me, absolutely not worth it. So thank you doggies for joining my channel. Like, share, and comment, of course. Arawa. If you want to hear about that, those lollies, the fly, Amarita lollies, then check out my other videos.